Hello and welcome to Classic Book Reviews with David. In this video I'll be discussing 450 from Paddington by Agatha Christie. It's a Miss Marple novel and it was first published in 1957. And it opens with a friend of Miss Marple, Mrs. McGillicuddy, on board a train. And as she's travelling along she looks out the window and another train draws up almost parallel. It's slowly overtaking her train. And as it overtakes, she peers in through the windows of the train opposite and observes the people. In one carriage she sees a family, and in another she sees other people and she observes what they're doing and things. But it's the next carriage that really gets her attention and opens the book properly. And what she sees is someone, looks like a man, although it's from behind, so possibly could be a woman, but almost certainly a man, strangling a woman to death. Now, of course, Mrs. McGillicuddy is horrified by this, and when she arrives at her destination, she goes straight to the police and reports this murder that she's witnessed. But intriguingly, they're not able to find any sort of body on any train, or sign of any murder, or anything. They've drawn a blank. So, Mrs. McGillicuddy approaches her friend Miss Marple and asks her to investigate instead. So Miss Marple begins to investigate, and she employs the help of someone called Lucy Aylesbarrow. And between them, although it's mainly Miss Marple, they work out that if the body was dropped off the train, where it must have been thrown off, and it would have been near a place called Rutherford Hall. So Lucy goes there and manages to get a job as a domestic servant there. And while she's there, ostensibly as domestic help, she's able to investigate on Miss Marple's behalf. I quite liked this book, but Miss Marple doesn't do much throughout. Okay, she does do detecting, but she's not present for much of the novel. Lucy Aylesbarrow does most of the snooping and seems to play a much bigger part in the novel. You get detectives in the novel doing investigating, and Miss Marple seems to be almost, I wouldn't say written out of the book, but she just doesn't seem to be very present. She isn't very present throughout the novel, with the exception of making, the important deductions. And that was a bit of a shame, really, I thought. It's quite a good book. It's fairly standard in its construction of, whodunit. I did quite like the reveal at the end, and I was surprised as to the identity of the murderer, which is always a good thing to happen. And the opening was very intriguing as well, with this death taking place, or this murder taking place, and the police not being able to find anything about it. But as I say, for the large part, it's fairly standard Agatha Christie. And for that reason, I'd give the book 3 out of 5. It's not bad, worth a read. And that's it. If you'd like to hear more reviews of Agatha Christie novels and books, I've got quite a few of them on my YouTube channel, so do have a look at them. And if you want to follow, you can on Facebook or Twitter. And of course, you can always subscribe by clicking the link below. So thanks very much for watching. See you again soon.